Hi everyone, Josh Gilbert here and welcome to Stock Break, where I give an in-depth analysis on public companies in under 5 minutes, breaking down their fundamentals and potential valuation. So let's dive in. Hello everyone and welcome back to another episode of Stock Break with me, Josh Gilbert. Today we're going to be looking at Novo Nordisk. It's the company behind Ozempic and also more recently Wegovy. These drugs have put Novo Nordisk on the map, but with shares down 25% over the last year and down 30% from their highs, is there more pain ahead or is this an opportunity? Well, let's dive in and take a look. But a quick reminder before we start that this presentation is for educational purposes only, should not be taken as investment advice or recommendation to buy or sell any financial instruments. So on to Novo. Who are they? What do they do? They are a healthcare giant that are based out of Denmark. It's been riding pretty high on the success of its weight loss treatments, but the stock has faced some pressure with concern that the weight loss sort of market, its future, may not have the same amount of legs, and it has faced some struggles with some disappointing trial results. Despite those results, though, the obesity drug market is projected to be about 130 billion by 2030. And I think that, for me, creates huge growth potential for Novo. For Novo Nordisk, it has been the key player in the diabetes and the obesity treatment space now for over a century. At the forefront of its success are GLP-1 drugs, which help regulate blood sugar and appetite. Its blockbuster drug, I should say, Ozempic, which is used for type 2 diabetes, has been the standout name. And we've all come to know it through, as we can see here, celebrity endorsements and so on. But it also has Wegovy, a specific drug for weight loss. Both of these drugs have seen explosive growth. Wegovy alone has saw an 85% revenue jump in 2024, with further growth projected at 55% in 2025. As I say, the weight loss drug market is booming, as we can see. Look, just a quick look here on Google will sort of tell you that it is booming. So that means there's going to be competition. We've got Eli Lilly. That's probably one of the biggest names in the healthcare industry in this space. It has a drug, Zepbound. This has shown promise, studies suggesting that it could outperform Wegovy and Ozempic in terms of weight loss. Eli Lilly's strength as well also comes in its diverse portfolio. It's got treatments for Alzheimer's, cancer, these types of things as well. So a very, very formidable competitor. So having a quick look at some of the numbers, Novo Nordisk ended 2024 on a pretty strong note. They reported $42 billion in revenue. I'm going to go in US dollars here because we're talking in Danish kroner, so probably easier to talk in US dollars. But sales have grown by about 25% year over year, as we can see. Operating income as well, that also jumped by 25% as well. That went to 128 Danish kroner, but that was about $18 billion. Again, 25% up from the previous year. And importantly, margins continued to improve as well. So some really good numbers on the screen here. But importantly, the sort of GLP-1 diabetes treatments, they now account for about 50% of total sales. Wegovy, that's the one that I think is really important to talk about here. It's the one that's sort of, I think, attracting the most attention. Sales now make up about 20% of total revenue, really sort of easing concerns about Wegovy's growth. That's really important. It's had a huge run. This was only launched sort of within the last sort of couple of years, only launched within the last sort of 5 years or so. 2025 guidance, that was strong as well. They forecasted for 19 to 27% operating income growth, again, driven by continued demand for those GLP-1 treatments. The focus is also on expanding products use cases as well. So Wegovy, for example, which basically been approved to treat heart disease here in Australia. That is, twofold. It shows ambition, but it also creates another revenue stream at the same time. So let's have a quick look at the share price. Over the past year, the shares have fallen about 25%, and it's fallen about 35%, almost about 36%, as we can see there, from its peak. And a lot of this has come from some disappointing trial results from CagriSema, which is its next-gen weight loss drug. The results were actually pretty solid, but investors had hoped for a bit more. But on the other side of that, the company recently also received promising phase 2 data for amycretin, which is another next-gen weight loss drug, which actually could be its sort of game changer. So look, we talk about quality results there, talk about yearly results there. I think for the time being, R&D breakthroughs may be the key catalyst for 2025. I think if they can continue to innovate in the obesity market, its share price may be driven by pipeline advancements rather than sort of short-term earnings growth, even though we are still seeing earnings growth come at a pretty rapid rate. But look, a pretty decent sort of drop in that share price. And that is one of the reasons why we are now seeing shares traded around about a 23 times forward earnings. Pretty modest, I would say, significantly lower than its 5-year average of 31 times, significantly lower than Eli Lilly at 37 times, and even lower than the S&P 500 at 24 times. So for me, that makes the stock pretty attractive for long-term investors at this current period. Analysts are also optimistic. They see about a 40% upside based on the average analyst price target. And if we look at the Guru Focus tracker, it sees the stock as modestly undervalued at current levels as well. It also ranks the profitability of the business at 9 out of 10. So all in all, given that recent weakness, modestly undervalued, analysts see about a 40% upside. So for me, pretty strong opportunity here potentially for long-term investors. So although Novo's long-term earnings outlook has faced some resistance on that sort of growth of these drugs, the outlook for me is far from ruined. As a very first mover with Wegovy and a very promising R&D pipeline, Novo is well positioned to remain a significant player in this rapidly growing weight loss market, as well as the future of healthcare. Thanks for watching Stock Break once again. Let me know in the comments what you think of Novo Nordisk, and to stay ahead of all things investing, follow us on all podcast platforms. Just search for Digest and Invest.